Have you ever wondered, quietly, why your morning erections aren't as reliable as they used to be after 50? Most men blame age, low testosterone, or that's just life now. But that's not the real root problem. In many cases, it's circulation, nerve signaling, and stress chemistry, things you can influence in minutes a day. In this video, I'll show you 3 simple pressure points men over 50 can use to support stronger, more consistent morning erections, without pills, embarrassment, or complicated routines. I'm Dr. Barbara O'Neill, a men's health physician with 30+ years of clinical experience. Tell me where you're watching from, and if this helps, like and subscribe. If you're over 50 and you've noticed your morning erections fading, let me say this plainly. You're not alone and you're not broken. But I also don't want you to accept the lazy myth that it's just age and there's nothing you can do. In my clinic, I've met countless men who whisper this question like it's shameful. Doc, is this the beginning of the end? And what I tell them is simple. Your body is giving you information, not a life sentence. Morning erections are like a natural systems check. They're not only about desire. In fact, they usually happen during deeper sleep cycles, when your brain sends signals down the spinal cord, nerves release nitric oxide, and blood vessels open so fresh blood can fill the tissue. That's biology, not magic. After 50, 3 things commonly interfere. Circulation gets less flexible, nerves become less responsive, and stress hormones, especially cortisol, stay too high for too long. Add lighter sleep, more nighttime bathroom trips, or medications, and the whole chain can weaken. Here's the part most men miss. Low testosterone isn't always the main villain. Testosterone matters, yes, but if you have poor blood flow, high inflammation, or chronically tight vessels, boosting testosterone won't automatically bring back that rock-hard morning response. It's like turning up the radio when the speaker wire is frayed. So I want you to do one quick morning check-in for the next 7 days. When you wake up, don't panic and don't judge yourself. Just ask, was my sleep deep or restless? Did I wake up anxious? Do my hands and feet feel cold? Those clues point to sleep quality, stress chemistry, and circulation, your true levers. And when you understand which lever is slipping, you'll be ready for the first pressure point, because it targets the wake-up signal your nerves and vessels have been struggling to deliver. Point number 1 is what I call the wake-up signal point, because it helps your nervous system send a clearer message down to the blood vessels that are supposed to open during those healthy sleep cycles. And listen, this is not about forcing anything. It's about reminding your body that it's safe, it's calm, and the wiring still works. For many men over 50, the problem isn't desire. The problem is the signal gets drowned out by stress, shallow sleep, and a nervous system that's stuck in on-guard mode. Here's the point. Take your hand and find the soft webbing between your thumb and index finger. If you squeeze that area gently and move around, you'll find a tender, slightly achy spot. That's where you press. Use your opposite thumb and apply steady, comfortable pressure, firm enough to feel a dull ache, never sharp pain, for about 60 seconds. Rest for a few breaths, then do one more round. I like this in the morning, right after you sit up in bed, or at night if your mind races and your sleep feels light. Consistency matters more than intensity. Now, while you press, I want you to add one simple breathing cue that lowers performance anxiety without shutting down desire. Inhale through your nose for a count of 4 and exhale slowly for a count of 6. That longer exhale is a quiet message to your body. You're safe. And when your body feels safe, blood vessels open more easily, nerve signaling improves, and morning erections often become more reliable over time. You'll know you're doing it right when you feel that warm, heavy ache and your shoulders drop just a little, like your system is finally unclenching. And next we'll move to the point that supports blood flow, where men over 50 tend to lose it first. Now let's bust a myth that keeps men stuck for years. If I could just raise my testosterone, everything would come back. Testosterone plays a role, yes, but hardness is mostly a blood flow event. Morning erections are your body's way of opening the plumbing while you sleep, sending fresh circulation into the tissue. And after 50, the biggest issue I see is not a lack of masculinity. It's stiff, less responsive blood vessels, often from years of sitting, sugar swings, inflammation, and even mild dehydration. Here's something most men don't connect. Stiffness in one part of your body often predicts stiffness somewhere else. If your calves cramp at night, if your feet feel cold, if your fingertips get numb, if your blood pressure has crept up, those are signs your vessels aren't opening smoothly. The penis uses very small arteries, so it notices problems early. Think of it as the check engine light for circulation. Point number 2 is a circulation support point located on the inner ankle, about 3 finger widths above the highest point of your inner ankle bone, just behind the shin bone. When you press in that area, you'll often feel a tender, achy line. Use your thumb, apply steady pressure for 60 seconds, then switch sides. You don't need to bruise yourself. You're looking for a comfortable soreness that fades when you release. Right after you press, do this 1 60-second habit that boosts the effect. Stand up and do slow calf pumps. Rise onto your toes, then lower your heels like you're gently pressing a gas pedal. Do it for 1 minute. This wakes up what I call your second heart, the calf muscles that push blood back up toward the core. Better return flow supports better forward flow. Over days and weeks, men often notice warmer feet, less heaviness, and a clearer morning response. And in the next chapter, I'll show you the third point, the missing piece for men who feel tired, stressed, and flat. Point number 3 is the one most men don't want to admit they need because it sounds in your head. But I'm going to be honest with you, stress is not just a feeling. Stress is chemistry. And after 50, that chemistry can quietly flip your body into survival mode, where erections become inconsistent even when your desire is still there. You can love your partner, you can want intimacy, and still feel like your body isn't cooperating. That's not weakness. That's biology doing what it thinks is keeping you alive. When cortisol stays high because of worry, work pressure, financial strain, constant news, or even unresolved resentment, your nervous system leans toward fight or flight. In that state, blood flow gets prioritized for the heart and big muscles, not for sexual function. Sleep becomes lighter, you wake up more often, and those deep sleep cycles that trigger morning erections get chopped into pieces. And here's the cruel part. One bad morning can create anxiety, and that anxiety keeps cortisol high the next night. It becomes a loop. So this point is a stress switch. You'll find it on your wrist, on the inner side, about 2 finger widths below the crease of your palm, in the middle between the tendons. Press there with your thumb until you feel a gentle ache, not pain, and hold for 90 seconds on one wrist, then the other. While you press, slow your exhale like you're letting air out of a tire. That long exhale is the signal that tells your brain, we're safe. And when your brain believes you're safe, your body can shift back toward rest and repair. Here's the nightly routine I want for the next week. In bed, lights low, phone away. Press this point on both wrists. Then take 5 slow breaths with a longer exhale. That's it. Men are often shocked at how quickly sleep depth improves and morning response follows. And next, I'll show you the exact 3-point sequence so you're not guessing, overdoing it, or quitting too early. Now I want to make this simple because men over 50 don't need another complicated routine that feels like homework. You need a clear sequence, the right amount of pressure, and you need to avoid the mistakes that make you quit after 3 days and say, it didn't work. This is a nervous system and circulation practice. It rewards consistency, not force. Here's the morning sequence. Step 1, the wake-up signal point in the web between your thumb and index finger. Press for 60 seconds, breathe out longer than you breathe in. Step 2. The inner ankle circulation point, 3 finger widths above the inner ankle bone, just behind the shin bone. Press for 60 seconds each side. Step 3. The wrist stress switch point, 2 finger widths, below the palm crease on the inner wrist. Press for 90 seconds each side. That's it. You can do it sitting on the edge of the bed in under 6 minutes. Now, how hard should you press? Aim for a dull, warm ache, like you found a tight knot, not sharp pain, not numbness, not bruising. If you're on blood thinners or you bruise easily, use lighter pressure and shorter holds. If you have neuropathy or reduced sensation, don't chase intensity. Use gentle pressure and focus on the breathing, because your nervous system still responds to rhythm even when sensation is muted. And if a point feels unusually tender, that's not a reason to panic. It's usually a sign that area is sensitive, inflamed, or stressed, so go softer, not harder. The biggest mistakes I see are pressing like you're trying to fix yourself in one session, skipping days, or constantly checking for results with anxiety. Instead, measure progress calmly. Notice sleep depth, morning warmth, less stress, better energy, and even slight improvement in firmness. Tiny signals matter before the big change shows up. And in the next chapter, I'll connect this to 3 lifestyle triggers, sleep, sugar, and sitting, that can secretly sabotage your morning erections. Even the best pressure point routine won't shine if 3 daily habits keep slamming the brakes on your circulation and hormones. I call them the hidden saboteurs because they look normal, especially for men over 60, but they quietly wreck morning erections, poor sleep depth, blood sugar spikes, and too much sitting. First, sleep. Morning erections depend on deep sleep cycles. If you're waking up to pee, scrolling late, snoring, or running on 5 or 6 hours, those cycles get chopped up. Your body can't complete the nighttime repair work that supports nerve signaling and healthy blood vessel response. One small swap: set a hard, lights down time 60 minutes before bed, and keep the room cool and dark. That alone can deepen sleep and bring back that natural morning system check. Second, sugar. You might not feel it, but big blood sugar swings stiffen blood vessels and increase inflammation, and stiff vessels don't fill well. One small swap: if you eat carbs at dinner, add protein and fiber first, eggs, fish, lentils, salad, then the starch. That simple order can blunt the spike and help the plumbing stay more flexible overnight. Third, sitting. Long sitting hours compress blood flow through the hips and pelvic region, and it trains the body into low circulation mode. One small swap: every hour, stand up for 60 seconds and do 10 slow calf pumps, or a short walk to the kitchen and back. It sounds almost silly, but your vessels respond to movement like a sponge responds to water. When you combine these 3 swaps with the points, you're no longer fighting your body, you're supporting it. And in the outro, I'll tell you exactly when it's time to see a doctor, without fear, embarrassment, or shame. You're not broken, and your best years aren't behind you. When you support blood flow, nerve signals, and calm sleep chemistry, your body can respond faster than you expect. If you're comfortable, comment your age and where you're watching from, and tell me which point you'll try first tonight. Like, subscribe, and remember, consistent small steps beat panic every time.